Alright guys, welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to talk about how you can start and set up your own social media marketing agency and how you can close clients that pay you $500 to $1,000 per month on a recurring basis. Many of you know that we had a webinar on this in the last month, but due to some technical problems, the last part of that webinar didn't go well, and we had to close it, and the recording was also lost in that process. So I've received a lot of requests on my email and Facebook group that they need recording for that webinar, but unfortunately, since that was not available, so I had to record this video once again. I'm sorry that I had to put this delay this in fact for quite a bit because of the Black Friday and Cyber Monday promotions of Content Studio and Replug. But I'm glad that you are here and watching this video now. So as you already know, my name is Waqar Azim and I'm the co-founder of Content Studio and Replug. And this topic is essentially really exciting for me because I get to share my knowledge with you guys. And many of you know that I have managed to run a successful digital marketing agency in Dubai. So I'm going to share whatever I can about social media marketing, and I'll share how you can form your own social media marketing agency from scratch. It's actually a phenomenal kind of business model. So not only I know and understand this, but I've implemented it myself and used it in the past. So I know that you can make good amount of money doing this business. This was a phenomenal one for me, and I think it is definitely going to be a good one for you if you think of starting it. And if you are already an entrepreneur and you're looking for some side money or side business, this can be a good business model for you as well. Because one of the great things about this is that you can choose how much work you want, how many clients you can potentially or you want to potentially sign at a specific time. So I'm going to show you the entire process from start to finish, the process of preparation while setting up your social media agency or trying to close clients, the step-by-step process of that, what do you need and how you should prepare for that stuff. And obviously it's going to include my experiences and how I have done it and what was the process involved in there. So it's going to give you a lot of good advice and good information. And like I said, obviously if you're just starting out, this is a great one too, because not only will it teach you literally going through the process, which is half the battle. And whatever your first business model is, whatever challenges you try to tackle in entrepreneurship first time, so you will get to know about that. Obviously it's not going to go 100% smoothly, so there's going to be challenges, there are going to be hiccups along the way, but obviously it's going to teach you a lot. And if we talk about learning digital marketing and social media marketing thing, when you go through the whole process of doing it for clients, you will learn a lot of new things, and you will make a lot of mistakes, but over time you will become a lot better marketer. Obviously you don't have to make that mistakes yourself, but what I'm trying to say is that it's a good way to get your feet wet, and because you'll learn a lot of new things along the way. So the first step of the preparation is a website. Now, as we're talking about preparation steps, the first one is obviously a huge one in terms of impact, and it is your website. I feel like that it helps a great deal, because having a site is very important when you are running a social media marketing agency. Not because of acquiring clients like you would think it would be, but kind of it's your digital business card. People are going to see it first, and it's going to represent your business. So it's important to at least have one that contains all the information and gives a good and professional first impression. It can be a one-pager website where you have different sections, where you introduce about yourself, and you have different sections about the kind of services you're providing, your contact information, obviously, a form where people can submit their queries, and all the other relevant information, whatever a digital or social media agency's website should have, should be in there, because it's going to send a good vibe to your visitors. The next one is your social accounts. Obviously, you are running a social media marketing agency, and if you don't have your own social media accounts linked on your website, it's going to give a negative impression. So this is the second most important thing, that you should have all of your social media accounts set up and linked to your website. And obviously, all of your social media pages should look active, so that anyone who tries to visit your website, they should see your presence on social media, and anyone who comes to your social pages, they should be able to visit your website. So it's a two-way thing, where people can go from your social media to your website, and from your website to your social media. This just adds another layer of authority and legitimacy. It will bring more trust in the eyes of your potential customer. The next one is one of the most important things in these steps, and that is proposal template. It is, as I said, this is very important. It is kind of one of the foundation of your whole business. So let me first explain how we're going to go about the proposal. There will be certain parts of proposal that will go unchanged to every client. What I mean by that is that you will only need to edit some slides or pages in your proposal template to make it quickly ready, while you are saving your time and your resources on a daily basis. That's what we used to do in our agency. We had a master template where we quickly added and customized stuff according to the client's needs and according to what suited best to acquire that client, because a lot of things will be the same in that proposal. You just need to change logo and change certain stuff that the client needs, or remove or edit any services that the client needs or doesn't need. So that's how you go about the proposal. But I'm going to talk about more in detail that what do you need to include, because your proposals need to show your prospect how you can benefit their business. It's not personal, but they don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. So keep your client front and center while covering each of the following. The very first thing is, what are you going to do? You're not just going to post pretty pictures on Facebook. Make sure your client knows that too. So whatever you're going to do, you have to mention on that proposal. And how are you going to do it? Which tactics and methodologies will you use to achieve their goals or their objectives, or whatever their objectives are? You have to mention that how are you going to achieve them. And if you have a team, then you should mention who's going to do the work and who are they going to communicate with, and who is responsible for this whole task or this whole work, so that there shouldn't be a hiccup during the work time, because we had this problem that initially we didn't mention that who is going to be the communicator, or who is going to be the person they are going to talk to when they run into any problems, or when they need to do something on their social media. So that's kind of delayed some of the tasks. So later on, when we had more members in the team, we mentioned that who are they going to talk to, and this person is responsible for all of their work. So that had smoothen the whole process a bit. So if you have a team, you can obviously introduce that in the proposal as well. Now you have to like tell to the client that what are the benefits of all this thing, like the social media thing. How is their business going to be transformed as a result of working with you? So you have to give some information about that as well. And the last thing, which is very important to the client, because they want to know that how much is it going to cost. If you're good, your services probably don't come cheap, so show why you are worth it, and your clients will obviously be more willing to sign you. And now let's look at how you can build a good proposal. Obviously this is going to take a bit of time to polish everything, but it's not, I mean, it's not going to be perfect the very first time, but as you try to add more things in there and you try to polish, it will look good as time proceeds, because you want the document you deliver to your clients, it should be detailed, polished, and it should be well planned and well thought out. And your prospective clients wants to know how your work will benefit their business. So logically, it makes sense to start with their goals, because these will be the endpoints you work towards. So outlining tangible business goals is a good thing. The business goals or objectives for your clients can be generating leads for their business, it can be raising brand awareness, or it can be increasing their sales and revenue. Ultimately, the goal of each or every business is increasing their sales and revenue. But there can be some shorter term goals like generating leads, increasing their brand awareness, that ultimately lead to more sales and revenue. So you need to like identify and mention all the goals and objectives that you're going to meet. Next, you should define or identify or determine some metrics that you're going to monitor. In order to reach your goals, you'll obviously need to determine which metrics are which metrics matter for a certain client. So applying the right data will help you know if you're succeeding, and you can obviously prove it to your client as well. So some of the metrics that you can monitor are traffic, it can be followers or their fans growth on their fan pages, it can be engagement, it can be reach, because sometimes just getting your message in front of people is enough to like influence positive business outcomes. So reach can be a good metrics as well for some businesses, because this measures how many people see a post, even if they don't engage with it, but obviously they have seen it, and once a post reaches a person a certain number of times, he may interact or engage with your post. So there are different metrics like traffic, followers growth, engagement, reach, and conversions obviously is another metric that you can monitor. And I think most businesses will be looking at conversions, but you can't just rely on conversions. You have to include other metrics like traffic, followers growth, engagement, and reach, because some businesses may not be good at the number of conversions, because it can be high ticket, or it can have like low conversion rate. So then obviously you need to show them something in their report, in their monthly report. So that's where the other metrics may come in and help you showing something to your client. Next is channel selection. While as we are discussing social media proposal, we need to be clear that the spectrum of social media is really broad, and depending upon different clients, some channels may make sense more than others, and some channels won't be needed at all for a certain client. So be sure to tailor your proposal to networks that your client is already on, your client wants to build a presence on, or the platforms you feel your client should be on, but may not have they may not have thought about it. So Anyone can talk about how they'll transform your business while dropping three-letter acronym like ROI and CPC and whatever else. But actually showing your prospect what you will do is more difficult. This is where you need to demonstrate exactly what kind of skills you've got and what kind of results you can expect to produce for them. So it's really important for them to know what channels are you going to promote their service on, what channels are you going to like work on, and what kind of services. The next point in there is what kind of services are you going to provide, because as I said that anyone can talk that they are going to bring a lot more like higher ROI and they will reduce their CPC, like all the technical terms, but they need to know what kind of services are you going to provide. For example, are you going to create social media content for them? Are you going to run paid campaigns? And obviously you're going to plan and run them paid campaigns. Are you going to monitor their brand on social media and do their what do you call it, brand management or reputation management? Or you're going to like work on their analytics and measurement, and you are going to like make their business better with data. So there are a lot of things that you can do in a social media management or social media marketing proposal or service. So you need to highlight what you're going to do, and whatever your expertise are, you can do that. And if you don't have certain expertise, obviously you can outsource it, or if you want to skip them altogether, you can do that. But obviously having more services, like doing the full service social media management, is the key to winning a client. And obviously the last part is to set clear timelines and deliverables, because you don't want to leave your client wondering what you're doing right now while their budget is getting drained. So they obviously need to know. Let them know what things will be done upfront. This can be like deadlines for projects, deadline for campaigns, timelines for meeting with them, or timelines to reach certain performance goals, timelines for your reporting, because that's another important aspect as well. Your client needs to know when to expect work to be completed, because it helps with their own planning and makes their life easier with other processes going on in their businesses. So keep all the pointers in mind and be realistic. Obviously don't overpromise like how fast you can get work done, and be upfront about how much time it's going to take to do a good job, because sometimes we obviously we are humans, and we try to like overpromise and underdeliver. So obviously you have to do the like opposite thing. You have to underpromise and maybe overdeliver on your very first attempt. And hold yourself accountable. I would say that it's really necessary to hold yourself accountable. Once you have set a deadline, consider it like that's the deadline, so meet it, and do whatever you have to do in order to meet it. And obviously if you're going to miss a deadline, inform your client upfront, and so that they can make necessary changes with their other business processes, and make sure the deadlines are agreed upon, because this ensures the client the client can't try to force you to deliver something really fast without notifying you. So these are some of the things that you should be having in your proposal. And apart from that, there are some other things that are really good to have in your proposal, and they can be like their current standing on social media in terms of their engagement, like their shares, comments, number of posts and things like that. What I like to do is that I like customization according to the client's business, according to the client's needs, and making the proposal as customizable as possible, because that's the key to winning any client. Um, you have to talk about their successful competitors. Talk about what they're doing, what kind of engagement they are getting, what kind of like strategy they are using, whatever good things you see on their social media pages, mention them in your proposal. And then talk about like what things are you going to do differently or that are similar to what their competitors are doing. And then talk about obviously what kind of results in terms of leads and sales you can bring to them. Always be realistic. I mean, don't overpromise them that you're going to bring this number of leads and sales without like calculating or without looking at the data. So you should like keep it realistic, because if you don't keep it realistic, your contract or your like service with them is going to end in a couple of months when you don't meet your deadlines, obviously, deadlines or goals. So apart from that, for having a good proposal, what I would like to add here is that I would like to tell you about ourselves, what we were doing in there. A lot of businesses, they don't know about digital marketing, they don't know about conversion optimization, like how to get more leads and sales from the same website, same funnel, same thing, but like changing certain things here and there and optimize your pages. So your client, your brick and mortar businesses, local businesses, they don't know about that stuff. So adding some additional advice in terms of conversion optimization, related to their website, related to their social media, it can be free advice. Let them implement it if they can. But obviously it's going to like put you in their shoes, and like you will have to and obviously it's going to create a good impression of you, that you know about that stuff and you're going to do good for them. We sometimes found some clients that didn't even have call to actions on their websites. So they didn't know that what they need to have on above the fold of the website. They didn't know where the form or where the contact button of their should be on their website. It was like a lot difficult for a regular visitor to come to their website and then find their contact information, fill up the form. So it was like 3 or 4 or 5 clicks away just to contact them or just to fill a form on their website. They didn't have like a clearly visible phone number on their website. So like I told you earlier, that adding this kind of advice that is related to conversion optimization and talking about them in your proposal is going to give an extra attention to you. And if they are obviously having more proposals, or if they are talking to some other companies, you will be standing out from the rest of the crowd. So you should think out of the box and add some valuable stuff in your proposal, so that the client should want to know more about it. And if you are a full service agency, you're obviously like if even if you want to run a full service agency, like for example if you want to provide SEO, PPC, content marketing and other kind of services, then obviously adding such information, you will get better marks in the eye of your client, and you will be in the position to secure more services from them. Maybe they can hire you for SEO, maybe they can hire you for some other things. So that's a pretty good thing to have in your proposal. Now let's come back to the preparation steps. Now we are done with the proposal template. The very next thing that you need to have is your contract template ready. So this is another important thing that you need to have upfront, because You should have this ready, because you never know how soon can you close your first client. So doing it at the last minute may slow down the process, and it's not something that complicated. Like proposal is more important in the overall steps, but contract template is obviously important from the clauses point of view, like what you are going to add, when are you going to provide them with their deliverables, with their goals, so how they are going to pay, when they are going to pay. So these kind of things are in the contract template. So I think a simple search on Google will give you a lot of sample contracts for social media marketing agencies, and you will find that most of them have like similar clauses. So just make sure that you have read them and try to keep it as simple as possible. And if you can somehow like get payments from clients on autopilot, like connecting it with a payment gateway, that's best, instead of like always running after them for payments. So that's one of the things you can do in your contract template. Now once you are done with the preparation step, let's get to the real struggle, that is acquiring or closing your clients. This is one of the hot topics everywhere for every kind of business, because clients, customers, or sales, these are the lifeline of any business, and closing new clients in the agency business model is a critical factor if you want to obviously keep running and keep scaling. A lot of people started the wrong way, and that's how we started, like approaching everyone, contacting everyone. And one of the reasons most agencies fail is that you don't laser target your audience. I mean, you go broad and you try to solve everyone's problems, and at the end you don't close as many clients as you should. And because you can't handle you can't be the master of all businesses. I mean, there are certain businesses which can't be promoted online, or we can say like certain businesses are hard to produce like positive ROI using digital marketing. And similarly, different businesses produce different kinds of ROI. So when we talk about online marketing, it's really important to niche down the type of business or the type of audience you are going to target at any point of time. So once you master that, you can move to the next niches and next industries. And even if you start with 2 niches, that's totally acceptable. There are lots of paid courses available online that talk about the same stuff that I'm telling you now, and some of them even charge in thousands. Obviously you can get some value out of those, but it's not worthy paying thousands, even if it is Tai Lopez. Okay, so the first step is to pick the niches you're going to start with. I would advise you to pick at least 2 initially, so that you can split test the results and see which one is bringing more fruitful results. And you can also look at the pros and cons of both the niches after some time, because then you can decide which one you want to keep. And there may be a possibility that both niches work great and you want to keep working in both of them. And then this is the point, while you are doing good in both the niches, you can look for the new ones and expand your business. So some examples of good niches can be dentists, lawyers, cosmetic surgeons, attorneys, accountants. So you're seeing a pattern here. I mean, all of these professions have a high average return on each customer. What I mean by that is, a dentist can earn a hefty amount from a single customer, and it can be in thousands. So ideally, when you are starting out, you have to choose niches where your client would be able to easily pay your service fee. A niche where the business has to get 100 sales for you to pay like $500 or $1,000. It can be a tough client for you as compared to a business where he just have to serve one or two customers, or maybe three or five, to pay you your monthly fees. That's where you would be able to like retain client, and client would be able to retain you. So do your research and identify opportunities. Once you have the niches decided, it's time to dig more and research about those businesses in those niches to find potential opportunities. By research, I mean going into your browser and looking for businesses in your area of reach. For example, go to Google and type in dentists in Austin, if you are there. So you can find cosmetic dentists, implants, or whatever the relevant search can be. See the top results in Google, including the ads, because these are the guys who are spending money on ads. Even if someone is not using paid Google ads, note them down. Sorry, get at least 30 to 50 businesses from first to fifth page of Google. Then go to Yelp or whatever the yellow pages website you have in country or region, and do a similar search there, just like you did on Google. You will find more businesses in there, and you will find some businesses here that were not even in Google. So after you are compiling, you have compiled a list. Go to social media pages of each prospect and see what they are doing, what they are missing, and what they are lacking in their social media or even on their website. I know it may seem a lot of work, but when you will get into rhythm, it is just like 2 days of work, and it can potentially give you 3 to 5 clients from this list. And if you charge even 500 to 1,000, you can do the math that this exercise can bring good and fruitful results for you. So once you have done the research and you have a list of businesses in your niche, it's time to select the ones you are going to approach. Watch the weaknesses of each prospect and see if it seems feasible to approach them, and see if they are lacking in terms of social media engagement on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or any other network. The very first thing I would look at is Facebook, because it is the biggest social media network and potentially the biggest in terms of generating revenue for small businesses, along with Instagram right now. So one thing you can do is you can go to the prospect's website and then come back to Facebook, and then see if they are having any retargeting ads. It can take a bit of time. Once you see a website, your retargeting ads may show up after some time. So just try to see if they are running retargeting ads or not. If they are not running retargeting ads, now this is one of I would say one of the key opportunities where you can close your clients, and you can talk about this, that they are not running retargeting ads, so they need to have retargeting ads, because people who are visiting your website are ideally potential customers. So your client needs to approach them again and again, and retargeting provides a legit way to do that. So that's a must, and I think this is a must-have point to check for all of your clients or your potential clients. So once you have the list shortened down, now you have to reach out to the prospects. Now once you have this list of your final potential customers, you can either reach them on social media networks like Facebook. You can reach out to them on LinkedIn, or maybe any other network where you can send them a message, or you can talk to them. The next option is to do or reach out to them is via email, or if you have found their phone number on their website or anywhere else, you can call them. Now when calling them, try to reach out to the decision maker, because if you are talking to someone who doesn't have the power or authority to make decisions or take decisions, you are just wasting your time. So try to reach out to the decision maker as fast as possible. Tell them that you are a specialist in marketing their kinds of businesses, and you have something for them. You have a proposal for them that you want to talk about, and you are expert in promoting, for example, lawyers or dentists, and you provide them more leads and sales. When you're going to talk about more leads and sales and talk about their same kind of businesses, it's going to get their attention. Obviously, it will be hard closing your first client, but once you have served a few clients in the same industry or niche, it will become a lot easier to secure more clients in the same industry. That's why I'm telling you to niche down your prospects. Like, instead of reaching every kind of business, you have to reach out to a specific industry businesses. Now, if you are reaching out to your clients via email, as I talked earlier, that customization is a key. You don't have to send the same generic email like to all of your list of prospects, because it's going to send a negative vibe. Even I think a 12-year-old would be able to see that this is an automated and same email sent to everyone. So it's really easy to get if you are sending out a generic email, or if you're customizing it. When you send a customized email to someone, they are going to appreciate it, they are going to like it, and it's going to get their attention. They are obviously going to respond to that. So spend some time to find a hook that resonates with their business, or that gets their attention. It can be a flaw in their current marketing or social media marketing strategy. So highlighting something that gets their attention will give you better results in terms of replies to your reach outs. And we have found out that talking about your competitors, like their competitors' work, is also an attention grabbing thing, and it will get you a lot of replies. So as every local business wants to beat their competitors, and they want to know what their competitors are doing for their success, that can be replicated or that can be beaten by a better strategy. So you can get their attention by talking about their competitor's strategy. So once you have got a reply, try to set up a personal or a virtual meeting online, and tell them that you will be able to explain everything in detail in the meeting. That's how you have to take it one step ahead. Set up a meeting, and that's where you have to go with the proposal you have prepared. And if you have their competitors audit, or if you have any other info that you think they would find it useful, you should take it with you and present it to them, and hopefully you're going to close that client. So that's how you do it. And obviously it's a broad topic, and there are lots of other things that come under this topic that I need to talk about. But for right now, this is it, and I'm gonna cover some other topics similar to this, and some other points in this at a later stage. And if you have any questions regarding this video that I've created, if you need to know anything else, just drop your comment in the comments section wherever this video is, and I'll try to respond accordingly. Thank you.